I feel like we're probably 3 to 5 years away from seeing an autonomous department in enterprise. Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan have already started, and they've already laid off people and publicly already stated it's because AI has taken on roles that are not needed anymore. They were able to do that at a high level. That was a massive, multi-billion-dollar investment probably, to be able to make that happen. Tesla wants to build its software to be like 10 times more reliable than humans, more safer than humans. The last testing that they did, they're like around 5 and 7 times safer than a human. Well, the biggest issue and the biggest gap is by the time data security full programs get rolled out, AI is moving and changing the data as fast as humanly possible right now. And it's changing the way that we store, changing the way that we use, and changing the way that data serves itself within transit. And by the time we get controls and policies and everything rolled out, it's already changed. I got off a very annoying call.
Why?
With that customer I've told you about.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to wring somebody's neck before until I met him. And then I was like, I'm capable of this.
Sometimes you run into him, man. Like,
It's just challenge everything. And
okay.
He thinks he's an expert now because he looked something up on ChatGPT and got a gotcha on me. And so now
got a what?
I gotcha.
Gotcha.
You didn't know this was here. I'm like, yeah, there's in DLP conditions, there's probably 100 different conditions. I'm sorry, I didn't know I'd be 100 of them. Like what? Anywho, I can have a full podcast about me ranting, but we're not going to do that.
I don't know, dude. If we wanted to get some clicks, we might do that. No.
Oh man.
That sounds frustrating.
Call it out.
Yeah.
Clickbait video.
Yeah. Freaking drama.
Sweet,
What's
man.
new at Index?
What's new, bro?
Other than your collapsing, setup over there. Yeah. Yeah.
You see, my freaking phone just slid off my computer.
Is that what that is?
That's exactly what it was. Man, so a lot. So we started building out all of our agentic pipelines, right? And all of our, so starting with our onboarding flow, our orchestration flows, as well as just starting to think about what does it look like under an onboarding flow. Did we want to build this as one agent, or did we want kind of like an umbrella agent that orchestrated many different types of agents to understand what we are doing, right? And so if we started thinking about what does that onboarding experience look like for somebody coming onto Index for the data security governance and or compliance program, and they're
through the agents, right? Interaction with the agents.
Yeah. So yes and no, right? So the agents, there's a lot of stuff that happens on the back end, just internally before we go external, right? So internally,
sure,
we utilize agents to be able to check when a deal has been won and a payment has been completed in our Stripe account as well as our HubSpot account, right? And then that triggers another flow. That triggers another agent to go out and say, okay, we need to go ahead and onboard this individual into the project management system. So it goes, spins up a new space in a project management system based on what they purchased, and then it auto-populates all of those tasks that we need to get done for them throughout the entire project, as well as all the templates. And then from there, it recognizes what is going to, who has the most current customers, and it'll give, and then it will auto load balance itself to give that customer to the one with the least amount of work currently. And so then it will assign one of our data security engineers, one of our data security architects. So each person that comes on board Index gets a data security engineer and a data security architect. And so it onboards both. Then it goes and it notifies them, hey, you have a new customer. But then from there, we need to be able to schedule a kickoff call with the customer. We need to send out the business requirements questionnaire, so that way we can understand basics, what we're going to be building, and build what we need to build for the customer based on business needs.
Yeah.
And so the agent spins up in our type form, spins up a new type form with all of their information, and it sends it over to the customer, looks at the data security engineer and data security architect schedule, and looks through there and sees what the best time is for that kickoff call, sends the customer an email, say, hey, these are the best times that's going to be happening. What looks best for you within these time frames, schedules a kickoff call, also sends over the invites, then updates the data security engineer and data security architect with all of the details that have been had. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 agents working in parallel.
Yeah, hold on. Let me recover from this Alt F4 that I just experienced. Yo, bro,
man, that's
a lot of talk about a pipe. You said pipeline, and you didn't say pipelines. Those pipelines.
Yeah, pipelines. So like our agents, so we'll have, and that's just our onboard agent, right? So we still have our PM agent that we're building as well. And so we're automating the entire project management process with that index, is just why we're able to deliver the projects that we're able to deliver at the cost that we're able to deliver, and how fast we're able to do it better than any other MSP out there. While other MSPs and other areas with technology services are taking months, like 4 months for POCs, all the way up to multi-year rollouts, we can condense that time by 80%. Just by the agents that we're building, right? So we are building the agentic data security and compliance for the AI era.
So that's the selling point, right? That you're
100% correct, because the biggest issue right now is by
efficiency,
the time,
obviously, too, right? Because like you're obviously data security, so like you got to be efficient. And
well, the biggest issue and the biggest gap is by the time data security full programs get rolled out, AI is moving and changing the data as fast as humanly possible right now. And it's changing the way that we store, changing the way that we use, and changing the way that data serves itself within transit. And by the time we get controls and policies and everything rolled out, it's already changed.
Yeah.
Right? Policies are changing, regulations are changing, new regulations are happening, new policy updates are coming out, and they're in a perpetual just project at year after year after year after year. It's great for MSPs, very horrible for enterprises, right? And so at Index, we built a Lego block solution that brings a customer from baseline to maturity. And then have our subscription services allow for them to have continuous data security and compliance working in the background at all times, because we see a world where we will have autonomous departments, right? So where entire enterprises will have autonomous departments, and our agents will be the forefront of those autonomous departments in the enterprise.
That's ridiculous.
So
that's fascinating though. So like, what is that? Now that you guys have entered into those pipelines, and I'm guessing seeing a little bit of success on that front, like where is that navigating you guys to specifically within Index?
Man, that's a good question. I think first and foremost, it's
because that's like a not to cut you off, but that's like a lot of really exciting stuff. It's like what's the word for it? Like it's like intra build. You know what I mean? Like you're in the process of like this build, but like where is it? Ultimately, you've kind of lined out how it's going to help out like the client and how it's going to speed up the process. But like, what's the next? Can you even talk about what the next step is after that?
Yeah, the next step is, we've already started our sales process. I've already hired in, and so we're already reaching out to people now. To come and beta test and come to help, kind of build not only the product, but also the service as we go, right? Because this whole entire thing is orchestrated on a platform called Atlas, right? So Atlas allows us to do what we do best, right? And so Atlas allows us to do full enterprise environment assessments through Microsoft Graph calls, through ENV calls, as well as other calls that we have also. And what we're able to do is do a current state assessment with compliance overlays. So whether that's going to be, it could be a DOT, right? Or it could be an environment assessment against defense control or HIPAA or whatever, right? So we could layer on all of these controls that we've already pre-mapped to every single control in Microsoft, so that when we do a current state assessment, we know that once something has passed and failed, as well as gives you the evidence, gives you the hard-coded JSON evidence to show an auditor that, hey, this is the controls that we have in place to protect ourselves based on your recommendations of what we need to do, as well as we'll be able to give them a gap assessment and risk assessments, as well as couple their business requirements with those assessments that we have completed, and give them a future state assessment as well, and a 90-day roadmap to get started. And that's how we're able to do it so quickly, right? Because the assessment takes so long, right? The configurations and all that, that's easy stuff, right? It's easy stuff. When you have 1, 2 people doing it, it's easy, right? It's the planning, it's the building, it's the decision making, it's the executive buy-in, it's dollar amounts, it's POs, it's budgets. That's all the stuff that's time consuming, right? And being able to do things at certain times of the year, and only doing them at certain times of the year because of budget constraints. Well, we remove that. We remove the budget constraint.
Other companies and stuff like that, like probably within your sector and every sector, right? Kind of have like a who has the stinkiest bait type of tactic. But it sounds like what you're doing is not only running towards like what's going to be a future trend, but also running towards like a guarantee. You're offering like almost guarantees, so to speak, right? Does that make sense? Like everyone out there, because of like their landing page and like what they offer, and everyone offers almost like the exact same thing. And so it's about like who has the stinkiest bait to catch the most fish. And, but it sounds like at Index, like you guys are like really fine tuning like a guaranteed approach to governance, right?
Yeah. The biggest thing that I would say our largest selling point, is you don't, an enterprise or a small SMB or an enterprise doesn't have to continuously do projects. We have with what we do and what we offer a continuous compliance, continuous data security, and continuous governance program that consistently evolves with business processes. So if your business, we will send questionnaires twice a year, right? So we'll send one at the beginning and we'll send one at the end of the year. If there is a drift or there is a shift in between those 2 questionnaires, we plan for it, we implement it based on the subscription that you already have with us, right? So it's nothing new for us, right? And so that's one piece. But the other piece is with our data security engineers, our data security architects, and automating the mundane and automating 80% of the work that takes data security programs to do, and data security in compliance and governance. It's really time consuming. So we've automated all of those mundane processes. So now the engineer, the architect can utilize 100% of their top level knowledge and not have to create PowerPoints on a Friday night.
Okay, but like, let's say, because there's always risks associated with AI, right? Yep. Automation, lanes capsize, and pipelines capsize and stuff like that. Like, what value do you bring to a company at Index? Because you're, I don't know if I want to say pioneering kind of like this space of like AI automation, integration, agentic, like governance, security and governance. But like, obviously the whole point is security. Yeah. So how do you fail safe that with something that's still kind of new?
I think that we have highly intelligent security models that are out, Claude, right? So we're built on Claude, especially with their new Claude security models, right? When Mythos comes out, we'll be plugging straight into Mythos as well. The biggest thing for us is that Mythos is Claude's most advanced security engine, no, not security engine, but most advanced security and vulnerability management. And I mean, they basically just like killed the SIM, right? You don't need it anymore. And so what you can do now is Mythos will be able to find vulnerabilities, be able to help patch them, as well as notify before they even get to a point where they can be exploited, right? I mean, these are highly intelligent models now. And so not only that, but coupled with our agents don't take action unless a human says so.
Okay, yeah. So human.
So yeah, we have human in the loop. So
gatekeeping, yeah.
Yep. So when it comes to, so we have human in the loop, where nothing happens. Yeah, human gatekeepers. So nothing happens without human intervention, right? So future state for us is where all of our configuration agents will actually build all the policy, all the rules, all the configurations in a client's tenant, and our agents will be licensed users within those tenants, so they'll be bound by their own governance and controls of the actual tenant itself. So it can't be overexposed or over configure what it's already meant to do, and then our data security architects and data security engineers will be removed from the work, and it'll be overseeing a team of agents. And then
like retainer?
No, so still technology services.
Okay. Yeah.
We're still able to deliver what we need to deliver in a very fast-paced type. But what we're also going to be doing is we're going to be building a platform for all of our agents that enterprises can use, and so that way we can be the company that brings data security, compliance, and governance agents to the enterprises to build out and create autonomous departments.
Yeah, like what do you think of build out like that, scale wise? Obviously, it's hard to know 100%, right? But like, what do you think time frame? I'm a new customer. I'm a client of yours. Like, hey, I'm excited about like what an index offers. Like, what can I expect? Like time frame?
Time frame to get to get to future state, or to get to a place where you're talking about where I just talked about like agents actually doing it. I think we're probably if we can get the funding that we need, I think we're less than a year away.
No. Okay, so but like I'm your client, you know.
Yeah.
And I need Index's help for compliance purposes, governance, security. When you come in and you're offering this, like from point A to point B, in your mind's eye, of like what you expect after your system's fully developed to do what it does best, you integrate into their business, like point A to point B. How quickly does that happen? Like how quickly do I expect all of those tools to function and function well?
Oh, it'll take 24 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of just connecting your environment to our environment, and then licensing our agents in the environment. And so, as long as the client wants to move fast, solid.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So the service is, basically instantaneous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just as
because
quick
for a human. So let's say
go for it.
Hold on. You're in this build business, but now you're revolutionizing the business. So from your perspective as a data engineer, or I guess a data security governance, engineer and consultant, how long would what the AI is going to do in 24 hours, how long would it have taken you to do that for a company? This is a real question.
Yeah, honestly, like, to do everything that we need to do for an actual company, let's just call it just to get started, to get the access that we need, to get the questionnaires that we need to understand where they are. This is zero configuration. This is just making sure, this is a baseline just to figure out what we have. On average, it takes like 2.5 weeks to get what we need.
Just to get what you need, but to implement it front end to back end, like.
Yeah, so front end to back end. Are you talking about like a full data security program, like everything? Yeah, we could probably get that done month.
So it would take you a month. So
you've
gone from a month to 24 hours. is kind of the goal.
No. So it
I'm trying to
24
get a
hours
grand
is
scheme
for
of
us to, yeah, it's 24 hours to get us connected into the environment to be able to have everything that we need. That
Oh,
that is
okay. Okay.
not full configurations, right?
Sure.
And so, because I mean, there's a testing piece to this, there's a rollout plan, there's all this stuff. Like we can't just push out users into a policy, and have 800 users in there and then go test it. Like that's crazy. Like
But
that's a lot.
yeah, but this part of
But
the selling point has to be speed, right? And so like
oh
like
yeah,
how much do you think you're
normally for a full data security program from like start to finish, just for a POC, right? Let's call it 30 users, just to get it out there to test the functionality. I mean, we're talking 3-4 months.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Okay.
Yeah,
So
three
like,
4 months. We can get it down to a month, to 30 days. We'll be done in 30 days.
okay.
A full POC with 30 users. We'll be done in 20. We'll be done in 30 days.
Okay. So a third.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm curious of, because I think the
Yeah.
golden question when it comes to AI is like, how can I do what I do well and quickly, like, and how do I do that? Like, how do I efficiently do that? How do I make the most of like this plan that I'm spending all this money, or service now for Index, that I'm spending this money for? Like, what is it gonna provide outside of just a cool tech talk? Do you know what I mean? Like, cause it's really fascinating stuff if you understand like the business. Some of these businesses are going to be like, yeah, sure, right? So like the selling point is like speed. The selling point is getting from point A to point B, obviously quicker, but without compromising quality and security. And if the Index is doing that, that's important, especially from a compliance perspective. I'm very intermingled with compliance life, and I have been for 14 years. And so I can tell you, as an officer within like that space, manager within that space, you give me some sort of like a guarantee that I can get from point A to point B and fill in those gaps in a third of the time. Yeah. Where do I sign?
And that's ultimately why we do it. Right. I mean, organizations don't have time anymore, right? Time is of the essence. Either an audit is looming around the corner. There's a risk, there's a breach that happens, something happened that's making it a driver for them to do whatever it is that they're about to do, right? So if somebody's looking for data security services, they're looking for some type of compliance or governance services, right? And some type of implementation services, they're doing it for a reason, right? And you usually have like three, maybe four categories, right? So the first one is going to be they understand the risk, they want to get ahead of it. That's the proactive customer, rare.
Sure.
The second one is there's an audit in like 3 or 4 months, and they are capped, and they need to figure it out, and they need to get it done quick. Right,
like urgent, like
urgent,
tomorrow,
right?
Yeah.
You have the other
and
one
nobody
where
was
they did
pulling
have that audit.
strings, doing their part, and they're trying to catch up,
and then you have the other customer that already went through an audit, they failed it, and they have a certain amount of time to go ahead and do and remediate what they need to, because now regulations and the compliance regulators are breathing down their necks to get it done, right? And then that person has a lot to lose, right? Because they have contracts on the line at that point.
Yeah.
And then you also have the individual that had a breach, right? And so, I mean, we have so many more use cases, right? There's a breach where they need to secure things quickly because somebody exploited a vulnerability and they have a lot of holes, and they did a like a vulnerability assessment, and they got freaking slammed by it. Or the compliance guy left 2 weeks ago. He left he documented no information, and nobody knows where anything is or how to do anything. And he didn't see. He said he was doing all this stuff, but we have no evidence that he was doing all this stuff now.
And that is scary. Reality is a company that handles data has to be so secure, because a single breach is instantaneously a lawsuit.
100%.
Look at the AT&T lawsuit, for that data breach back in February of like 2023 or something like that.
Yep.
Hey, sign on this petition thing, see if you can get some money type of deal. Dude, I don't got time for that kind of stuff. I get all kinds, and I probably should be more concerned about the like data breaches, but at the same time, I'm not like a multi-million-dollar company owner, etc. So I don't know to the extent that I've got to take it just as serious, but it is a big deal if you can't find that hole and you can't find it quickly, because then you just have to guess at what all's been leaked until you come up with a full story, which takes time, especially with human beings, who need to eat, sleep. But if your team is a bunch of agents that go, yes, sir, aye, aye,
Exactly.
crawling all over the dang place like their, lives depend on it.
Well, yeah, they don't get tired. They don't get burnt out. They don't complain. They don't put complaints in HR. They don't backtalk. Like, it's just, like being a manager, half the battle is managing multiple personalities.
We should do a podcast. We should do a podcast about building an AI like chat to respond that way. I want you to complain real, like when it gets to this point.
Like, oh my gosh, could you imagine just like a company like rage baiting its own employees? That'd be so freaking hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, no,
I would get it. Be like, oh my gosh, Jack, again?
Yeah, seriously.
You said you're going to get this in 2 days ago. We're sitting at 2 weeks.
That's a big market, and one it sounds like you're capitalizing on, and Index is doing some pretty unique stuff within the space.
Oh yeah, super excited, man. It's been really cool to see like some of this in like action and what we're actually doing and seeing it actually work, right? So the vision that I had back in October last year, coming to fruition, 6 months later, is a cool feeling, right? And we're infants right now, but we're small, and we're trying to make a massive impact in where we are, right? To be that that data and research company that just is able to push what frontier models can do in the enterprise.
Do you look up to anybody in the data governance space?
Oh man, there's a few guys, I would say,
or businesses, even like just models that maybe have done it really well.
Yeah, Claude is killing. Like the way that Claude researches, the way that Claude conducts themselves, the way that they're just so deeply understanding of real life scenarios and not these kind of far off things that people have tried to build for, right? And so Claude is amazing. Abnormal AI, fantastic company as well. I really like. I would say one of the companies that I see that I pay attention to a lot and is absolutely killing it is probably Anduril. Right,
Anduril. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, private defense contractor that they built an autonomous fighter jet in 18 months from idea, from a napkin to full production in the sky, working in 18 months. Lockheed Martin can't even do that.
The jet flies itself?
The fighter jet flies itself.
That's terrifying. See, that's where we're starting to calm down. Like they did just have one of the first freight autonomous loads successfully travel from Houston to the Metroplex.
Awesome. Do you know what company it was?
I should know this, but
Kodiak?
I don't know. I saw something on LinkedIn.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know. I would have been frustrated. Hopefully they told the public, because
yeah.
What's the protocol for that? Do you follow that around? You know what I mean? Do you have like live people tagging on with that thing?
No, maybe. Or, they're probably tracking it through its own cameras that they have on board, to understand what's going on around it and things like that. And you can use satellite imagery for it as well.
Yeah, but could you imagine on the first trip and dude, something serious happens, like in the lawsuit that could come from that? From not being, not
yeah,
prepared?
who? Yeah,
you're not going to tell us that there's like an autonomous vehicle that's like, we know Teslas and stuff.
I think so. I think people know, hey, this is coming, right? I think it's known that, hey, it's an autonomous trucking company. I think that might be well known, because I'm sure the people on the other end that are receiving that load, like, I bet the entire company was there waiting for that truck.
Yeah, it was a big spectacle apparently.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is cool. It is cool. I don't know. It just, as a liability guy, it kind of terrifies the crap out of me, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea is that autonomous vehicles will be 10 times safer than humans.
I'm going to say no more.
You know, that's kind of like the idea around it. But because I know that's the ultimate goal of FSD over at Tesla, right? So full self-driving is that Tesla wants to build its software to be like 10 times more reliable than humans, more safer than humans. And I think from the last testing that they did, they're like around somewhere between 5 and 7 times safer than a human.
I honestly, I don't doubt it.
You know, I don't know though. I mean, I think it's a different conversation when it comes to construction equipment and sites than it is highway roads.
The unfortunate part is, I mean, when was the last time you went and did something, some sort of a test for your driving ability?
For my safety?
For your driving ability, for you being able to drive your vehicle. Since you got your driver's license, right?
No, I retook my test 2018.
Can I guess why?
Go ahead.
Tickets?
Huh?
Tickets?
Yep. Yeah. Do you know what kind of tickets?
Speeding.
Seatbelt tickets. I didn't like wearing seatbelts at the time.
You got so many seatbelt tickets that they made you redo the test?
No, I had my license suspended for a little bit. Ain't gonna lie. Yep.
Oh, that's wild, dude. That's wild.
Right?
Walked out of school.
Yep.
License. Dude, don't go with the index. No, I'm just playing.
Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah, but the reality is that most people have not gone back to any sort of training around 0%. Driving. And then we just all think that we're professionals.
I think that everybody should get retested every 5 years.
I think everyone should get retested every 2 years.
Every 2 years?
100%. Listen.
Can companies mandate that or no?
Can a company mandate that for a general employee?
Yeah.
No,
I guess not because they're,
No, that's a state level thing, man.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's like laws and lobbying and all that crap.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason why I say that is because I mean, look at the Metroplex. It's not about whether you know how to drive a vehicle. It's about whether or not you know how to drive that vehicle in changing conditions.
Right.
Which is like we could draw this back into like Index and like what Index is doing, right? And you were talking about all the changes. Same situation. If the Metroplex is going to go from being at 6-7 million right now to 10 million plus by 2030, that's a whole different driving condition.
Oh, 100%.
So I'd say every 2 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Different people, different demographics, different locations.
It's all these California people coming into Texas and can't drive.
Well, not really. Honestly, I want to say that, dude, like, because, I mean, I'm not going to bash Californians or anything like that, but like.
Oh, well, it's okay. I got it. Yeah. I got you.
You got this one? Okay.
I got this one. Don't worry about it.
Take the brunt. You're the business owner, dude. I'm gonna ride the line here. No, it's just anybody.
Yeah.
It's just anybody.
Honestly, it is. I mean, drive here on a Saturday afternoon in Texas and you'll run into everybody.
So like to tie that back into AI, right? So we don't spiral like we typically do. I think everyone is kind of driving AI a little crazy right now. I don't like, not like you're driving AI crazy, like they're like losing their mind, but like, I just feel like everyone, because they have access to it, is kind of like off the rails with it.
They are.
In some way, right? So it's like important what you guys are doing from a security and governance perspective, but it's even more important, like, because in a way, like, you're educating. You're not just providing a service to a company, like you're educating them on how important it is to know how to use AI, to know how these these things can function, because it's a proven concept that our business does it and does it well. You don't want your, it's kind of like, in a way, like a double entendre. Like your company is in the space of educating as well as providing like an expert service.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of people are using AI, and a lot of people are using AI for different reasons. But honestly, the data shows that AI really hasn't penetrated enterprise processes, right? And that's straight from Claude, right? And ChatGPT, like it just hasn't, right? And so there's still very human-centric processes in almost every organization, and AI really hasn't even taken over that. It's maybe helped out, and the individuals using AI to boost their productivity and whatever they're doing, but I mean, they're not running agentic. They're not running anything agentic at all within their processes to automate it all.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, because there's there's a lot of layers of fear there.
Well, that it's not only that. It's enterprises have a lot of middle management. AI can automate. I mean, I can automate a middle manager tomorrow. Like it's easy. It's easy to automate a middle manager. Like they're not needed. And there's too much red tape in most organizations. And so, but the issue is that enterprises can't just go out and reduce their headcount in a matter of minutes, right? It takes time for them to do that.
I don't know, man. I disagree with you, because you might be able to replicate a standard process, like a set duty and task. But the reality is the majority of the workforce is so spread across multiple layers of departments and duties and tasks, etc.
Yeah.
That flipping on a script isn't just, it's not really a script. It's a human capability that AI just doesn't really possess.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. There are managers that
like what space? This is key. This is crucial.
Name an industry.
Okay, mine.
Yours?
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
How do you figure?
A middleman. So let's call it, I don't know. Let's say we have I don't know, what's like I don't know your industry well, so I'm trying to figure out like what would be like a middle manager, like what would they do?
Yeah, aggregate sales.
Aggregate sales?
Sure. You could do sales manager. You could do sales manager. You could do operations manager.
Yeah. How about, okay, yeah, we can do like an operations manager, right? Sure. And yeah, I mean, an operations manager, I mean, they're literally like crunching numbers the entire time to be able to make sure that one, like revenue generation is there, cost optimization is there, right? Job costing is good, right? I mean, and they're literally logging into systems the entire day. They're logging into different platforms, right? And then also taking that data. And so if you can synthesize data from a platform and then be able to synthesize that data with like an AI, with like an LLM, and take that and put it into a report that drives it up to an executive leadership. I mean, it's one aspect of the job, right? But they may do like, let's call it 20 different things that they do, right? They do 20 different things. All I need to know is what are 20 different things and what is that process, and automate the process.
I don't think it's automatable though, to be honest, man.
Are you talking about because there's a judgment call?
Sure.
Okay.
Because we don't think like robots, right? We don't think like AI or agentic, like what's the word for it? Quantum thinking, like to that degree, right? Because it's a completely different type of thinking than it is to be a human,
But what you're doing is you're offsetting that decision to somebody else, right? So if I can automate all those processes and then say, okay, and then take all of that, maybe a middle manager makes 3 to 4 good decisions a day, right? Like that's like solid decisions a day, right? 3 to 4 good decisions. Like, okay, what would those decisions look like? Okay. And could I provide the data for those decisions that would remove a middle manager and for the one above him to go ahead and make that decision, which probably writes the check.
Yeah, but that's just those decisions for that day. And then
that's just that day, right?
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like,
are you talking about compounds?
Right, because what ends up happening is you replace a middle manager, but then you replace the middle manager with a manager for the AI agentic model. You know what I mean?
So what you're doing though is you're reducing headcount, right? And so like if you're reducing headcount, right, and say I have an agentic model, right, and that model, in order for me to automate an entire role, right, costs me, and credits and tokens, maybe I'm paying somewhere in the like 2,000 to 4,000 range a month, right? So let's call it 4,000, right? That middle manager is making over 100,000 a year. Let's call it not even. Let's say it's a small operation, right? Maybe he's making 85,000 a year plus benefits, right? Sure. The cost to the employer is somewhere between like 96 and 101. But I can automate everything and do the same thing that he's doing for $48,000, for $50,000 a year, and I don't have to worry about it. He takes time off. Like he works 24/7.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
for data collecting, but there's like so much more to like.
AI is way more than data collecting, though. AI, I mean, there's actual decisions that are being made, right?
But it's not a personality, you know.
No, you're right. It's not a personality.
You know what I mean? So it's like
it's not a personality. But look at software engineering. Software engineering is getting completely automated. Like software engineering is like the first thing to go.
Yeah,
those are people.
Yeah.
But coding is automated now. It's not. And so what you're doing is that, yes, you are. Now that middle manager, what that middle manager can do, if he was smart, is go, crap, AI is like coming up. Like it's here and this might take my job. What he could do is go upskill himself to be able to go, I can manage these agents. Right? So now he just shifted himself and said, okay, hey, I have the experiences. I know the role. Like I've been at this, small operation, for 20 years since its inception. I know like a back of my hand, right? And he can manage the agents to do it. Now there's power. Now there's even more power across.
Sure. Yeah. That's the road I see being taken.
But you can't, I mean.
Because for the fully automated aspect of it, then you have to do the person next to them and the person next to them and the person next. And you could, like, you fully automate the entire company, right?
I mean, I guess you could.
Like nobody's going to be checking in with, Daddy Claude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean?
You now replace that middle manager, operations manager, right? Uh-huh. And then now people are coming in because the operations manager it's much more than just the data collecting and much more than just the decision making. But it's also like it's a fabric role for interpersonal connection and morale and leadership and accountability and etc. Like nobody's gonna go, oh, Daddy Claude, like, what's going on today? Like, what's the data?
They won't need to. It's already been delivered, right? It's already been.
Then what would be the point of their role?
It's already been delivered, right? Because it depends on what it is, right? And so if you have sales, like sales is being automated up and down everywhere right now, right?
Sure. I mean, there's marketing and
Well, marketing, sales, and software engineering and software development is all being automated right now. Like and to be completely honest, sales and marketing has probably been automated for a lot longer than technology has, to be honest.
So then what happens? Because in order to have, in my mind, AI automation to the lengths of what you're speaking, there needs to be less people.
Correct. So
not in a company, I'm just saying in general, in the population, right? Because like where are these, like in your mind, like we start automating to that degree, and I'm not saying it's going that way, but I'm just saying if it did,
it's a skill shift. It's a skills shift, right?
So you just create.
No, so if we have users, so if we're let's say Index automates an entire department. Let's say we automate the infosec department or the data security. Let's say we automate a data security department at a mid-tier firm, and they have 8 employees. Like, what happens to those 8 employees? Well,
Sure.
I bet you about maybe 10, 20% maybe will upskill themselves to be able to take on other roles in the company that aren't automated, and or be able to take over and champion the automation within that department itself, and be able to help manage and be able to help do that. Because at the end of the day, there's still a human in the loop, right?
See
And so
that?
having somebody there that actually knows and has boots on the ground beforehand, and or just understands the industry in and of itself, then that's power, right? AI is an empowerment of how people are able to work and how people are able to do what they do best, right?
So,
And so what we're trying to do is, yes, we have autonomous departments,
sure.
but
Yeah.
what we're trying to do is take out the mundane, so that way it frees up people to think at a much higher level than they are now, rather than having a $100,000 operations engineer doing grunt work that he shouldn't be doing, right? Because nobody else wants to do it.
So it's just so let's go back real fast.
Yeah.
So it's not replacing. I don't think that's the right word. Like, it's not replacing the middle manager and their skills. It's just edifying the middle manager.
It could.
But like, let's say from your perspective of that 8 employee circumstance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you shift skill sets. What's the shifting of skill sets?
I mean, shifting the skill sets is understanding how AI works, orchestration. It's understanding because at the end of the day, things can break, right? Technology, like APIs change, right? Like it's a shift of skills to be able to manage that type of, let's call it, employee agent, right? It's a different skill set now. Just as the industrial era came across the United States, a lot of people had to refigure out everything, right?
Yeah.
They had to shift their skills. They had to learn new things in order to adapt, in order to be able to be relevant again in the marketplace. It's the same thing, right? You have to adapt. Now, what I'm talking about is something that we won't see for a long time. And I don't know about a long time, but I feel like we're probably 3 to 5 years away from seeing an autonomous department in an enterprise. I really do, right? And Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan have already started. And so, and they've already laid off people and publicly already stated it's because AI has taken on roles that are not needed anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a very extreme example, because not everybody's at Goldman Sachs. Not everybody has the capital like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs does. Right. And so they were able to do that at a high level. That was a massive, multi-billion-dollar investment probably, to be able to make that happen. And so at the end of the day,
to know what those roles were would be critical.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
yeah, because it's for sure not replacing interpersonal skill. It's replacing what you're saying, the mundane, which I agree with. You know what I mean? Like my wife, bless her heart, I'm sitting there building some stuff out, some automations for my company. And she's like, I just don't understand how you're not replacing yourself. And I said, maybe I am. I was like, but I'm also building something really cool right now. Like, I'm in a space, like I understand the space I'm in. You know what I mean? And maybe I am. I don't know. But right now, for what I'm doing, it is significantly edifying my position and what I'm capable of doing within the lean structure that we operate at, and companies do that. And it's cliche, but it's adapt or die. Like you adapt or die. You have to choose like where you want to be and where you want to give your effort, and like where that longevity is going to point you direction wise. And so for me, I'm like, we're trying to take over the industry. We're trying to change the industry. It's kind of our mission and core value. And for people that are thinking that way, I appreciate that. And so I'm going to get on board with finding ways to do my part to accomplish that.
Yeah.
And AI is not, unfortunately, but AI is one of the current answers to that solution.
100%. And I've seen you do that, and it's freaking awesome, right? And so
it's been fun. It's been so much fun.
I mean, it's a perfect example of what AI can do, right? So like we can go both ways with extreme of AI. How extreme do we want to go with AI, right? Robotics and replacing humans and all that crazy crap, or we can go like the practical standpoint of you looking at a use case and go, AI can fill this, right? Like I can drastically increase my productivity, and drastically increase my sanity on a day-to-day basis because of AI.
The reality is, I should never, to be completely honest and be frank, and people kind of look at me weird for this, I should never have to touch another file again.
Yeah.
That's where my brain goes to. Why would I need to do that? Like there's so many more other important things. Like that stuff needs to be there, and it's important for me to know it's there because right now I need to put it there. But as soon as it's put there, because it's, there's a chain reaction in a system and a pipeline that follows its structure to the T, like you said, without having to sleep. As soon as it's there, and my job is just going to see the endpoint. If I just have to see the endpoint, and I don't have to be at the point like the beginning and then like the middle and like the searching through file cabinets digitally, type of deal, like I'm successful. I'm winning.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's literally how it should be. Like we shouldn't be doing any of that anymore. Like it's I think the next computer that comes out is going to be freaking mind-blowing. Whoever reinvents the computer for the next digital age, it's going to be mind-blowing what it looks like. And I can't wait to see that, because that is going to be freaking cool.
You think we'll see it in our lifetime?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we'll see it within the next few years.
You think?
100% we will. 100%. With the way that everything is progressing and advancing, 100%. And there's already companies working on this as well. Like OpenAI is working on this right now as a product. Right. So I mean, it's actively in R&D.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it's exciting.
It's exciting. It is, man.
Exciting stuff.
It is, and I like how AI can spark like not abrasion. But this is the whole point, is like anytime you even jump into an AI chat with just yourself, you're like knocking around these things, right? These ideas and these concepts, and jumping from pillar to pillar, etc. And so like I love clashing in conversations like that about like what that future looks like, because kind of work out some of the kinks.
Exactly.
Man, I appreciate you for bringing us along the ride of Index and what it's preparing to do, and super excited for you, brother. Super excited for this your mission statement towards it, and having seen it develop firsthand as your friend, but also as your partner here on the podcast. And I think if I can go back real fast at the beginning of the Days In podcast, if you're day one, it was kind of about showing like what we were doing, instead of talking about what other people are doing. And so it's cool to be here and talking about what you're doing. Yeah,
man. I love that full circle moment.
It's a rooted thing,
man.
Right?
Come on, man. Rooted. Yeah. That's a name that hasn't come up in a while.
Yeah.